Well, Bruce, we talked about the economy yesterday.
Yeah.
Earlier in the week, we saw growth in the GDP up 3%. We're thinking, the stock market hasn't been awful lately.
All right.
And now it just seems to be, the stock market hasn't been good lately. The jobs report came out today, and it was a disaster. It was 73,000 jobs added. And what we need to talk about is this is a concerning jobs report.
Not just that, but they went back and revised the May and June jobs reports.
Yeah.
And I'm not a math whiz, but I think they revised it down to none. It's just
they revised the previous 2 months down by a total of 258,000.
Yeah.
So, is the economy in some trouble?
They're not very good at estimating. All right, let's talk to somebody who understands this.
Let's do it.
Joining us right now, he's the president of Rounds Consulting Group. Oh, that's convenient. Jim Rounds is with us. Jim, happy Friday to you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys.
So I got a bunch of questions. Can I start with, why are the estimates so wildly off?
Well, you got to compare it to what people are expecting versus what the underlying story is. So whenever the numbers don't match up with what people are forecasting, it just means they did a bad job forecasting. The numbers are the numbers. There's an argument out there that, the numbers are being manipulated. They're coming in right at what we were thinking they were going to come in. We've been saying for months that we're going to start to slide into a period where job growth goes a little bit below 100,000, and that's going to be probably middle of the year. We're going to go negative maybe by the beginning of this next calendar year. Somewhere in there, we're going to have a mild downturn, but there's an explanation for it. We spent a whole lot of money from the federal government in prior years. Now we're cutting back. We had 0% interest rates. Now they're higher than they were before. So we kind of knew that we were going to have this, and that doesn't even get into the tariff issue. I think there was a little bit of an overreaction. The numbers aren't so bad that I think we're going to be in a terrible recession that's right around the corner. This is just one of the key indicators, but GDP is still okay. Consumer confidence is weakening a little bit, leading indicators is weakening a little bit, but when you look at all the data combined, it's just kind of a slow and steady fall that's indicating there might be a soft landing in the economy.
All right, we're talking about how the economy is here in the United States. We're talking to economist Jim Rounds. We had the jobs report today, not good, 73,000 jobs last month. Okay, so is this a correct statement? If you have a job, especially in Arizona, because let's talk a little Arizona economy. If you have a job in Arizona, hold on to it with dear life.
Yes, but the thing that's different about Arizona is I think we're going to weather the downturn much better than the rest of the country.
Why?
And so we're still growing. We're adding higher wage jobs than we used to. We have a good economic development profile. We're really accelerating in terms of the high tech areas. And so we're still going to be subject to the ebbs and flows of the business cycle. And one of the best indicators is actually looking at sales tax collections at the government level. They've been kind of gliding down slowly as well. But I feel like we're better positioned than a lot of others. We've seen some data where our inflation rate was really low compared to the rest of the nation, and some people were worried, does that mean that we have a weak economy? It just meant that our prices went up earlier than other states, and now they're leveling off while other states were still are catching up with us. So when you're a leader in the country, you end up having higher rates of growth in good and bad areas, and then you stabilize sooner. And that's why sometimes our rankings will fall in terms of job growth. And you'll see a state like Hawaii that has a disaster of an economy jump up to the top 10. It's actually because they were late to the game. It wasn't because they were a front runner. So you got to be real careful looking at the data, and you got to look at a lot of different data points. But the employment number is one of the better ones to look at.
We're talking once again to Jim Rounds. He's president of Rounds Consulting Group. Again, what I don't understand about some of this, Jim, would fill a very large room, which is why I'm so glad that you're joining us. Does firing the person in charge of gathering the statistics going to change anything? Well,
it depends on if they were an idiot.
Fair.
Aside from this particular point, if if they were an intelligent person and they knew what they were doing, just because the numbers come in bad, it's not their fault. It's a lot of it has to do with what the same people in the federal government did. The same people that are complaining about the numbers now are the ones that were approving the budgets that were excessive during the Biden years, and now they're approving the conservative budgets now. So, of course, we're going to have a downturn.
Real quick, Bruce is talking about the president firing the head of the Labor Statistics Bureau.
Yep.
It was a weak jobs report today, and so Trump said the jobs report was, quote, rigged. You said firing this person, it depends on if they're an idiot. Is this person bad at their job, and did this person deserve to get fired? Are we going to? I don't. Is your job? Your job is to count the number of jobs, and did this person do it wrong?
Yeah, there's no indication that they did it wrong. Again, the number is not shocking at all. When I looked at the number, It was exactly where we were thinking. I was thinking in the next couple of months, it's probably going to dip below 100,000.
So this is politics. This is politics. Trump didn't like that. Who is this person? Who is it?
I don't even know who they are.
Is it Erica?
Yes.
McAnterfer? I don't know. Anyway. Did Trump say, I didn't like the jobs report that this person put out right when Kamala Harris was right before the election, and it gave Kamala Harris a little bit of an edge because the economy looked good? Is this just one of those, I'm Donald Trump and I fire people?
It may be. Well, it's very likely that, and when you're dealing with politics, these things happen. Now, if they put in somebody that they like better, it's not going to keep the recession data from showing up. So are they going to fire them too? No, they're going to say, well, of course we were expecting a downturn because we're trying to get the economy back on track because we subsidized too much economic activity over the prior few years.
Right.
So, the political message can kind of change depending on what you need in any given week, but the economic numbers are going to tell a consistent story. And again, I'm not shocked at all. I don't know if the person was good or bad at their job, but I don't doubt that the numbers came in below 100,000.
Jim Rounds, again, president of Rounds Consulting Group. So if economists, if experts understand, well, these numbers are going to be going down, why is it a shock? Why do we see the stock market react the way it does? Like, again, I'm trying to understand, like, who's in the know on this? Are you just not telling us what we need to know, Jim? You should call us the day before.
Yeah, I think in general, the stock market and others, they rely on one data point in one particular day. And so the fact that the jobs report was weak, but I just updated a chart for GDP that showed the 3% and that we've been chugging along, and some of the other data is not all that bad. It's only slightly weakening. I'm not worried at all. I met with my financial advisor today. I didn't do anything different. The conversation was exactly the same. We're not falling into a hole. The data is the data, but you got to look at more than just one thing. And across the board, I even started typing into my presentations, instead of just showing the charts, I'll say good, bad, improving, weakening. And in general, it's kind of all over the place. That's what you typically see when the economy's starting to slow. You see mixed signals. But I don't think we're going to have that bad of a downturn when we have it. But I think just hiding from it's not the way to go either.
Jim, my final question for you, as I'm trying to understand him, I'm just trying to get like a passing grade in Econ 101 here. Will these numbers, the job numbers, not only the revisions, but the new number that came out that are, as you said, as expected, others are freaked out by them. Will this cause the Fed to lower interest rates? Is this a trigger? Is this a step towards it?
Here's why I think it will be.
Ooh.
Because when the job numbers are weak, you would want to lower interest rates unless inflation was high, because the tariffs were implemented kind of with a delay, and the businesses are picking up the initial cost, and then it'll be shifted to the consumer. We're not going to get that inflation until later. So the Fed's not going to be, they're not going to have their hands tied from lowering rates. So I think 0.5% or more for the rest of the year is still at play until we start to see inflation going back up. But by then, the economy is going to be weakening some. So, even though I've been very critical of the Federal Reserve Board in the past, that they've done a terrible job, they've kind of reloaded, and now we can reduce rates again to help strengthen the economy going forward. So that's another reason to be a little optimistic.
All right. Jim, appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Anytime. Take
All
care.
right. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. That's Jim Rounds. He's the president of Rounds Consulting Group, helping us understand a little bit about these job numbers and why maybe we don't need to freak out. Is that what you took from it?
I think that it's kind of what I said. If you have a job, you need to keep your job. It doesn't mean the bottom's going to fall out. But if you have a job, and I've heard this from different economists, and Jim was one of them, if you have a job, keep it. Do what you need to do to keep it. We even heard a couple of months ago that there were people in the workforce that have gone into their boss's office and said, hey, listen, if there's a downturn, cut my salary.
Wow.
But don't let me go.
I'll take a haircut as opposed to lose my job.
Yeah. So I'm not telling everybody right now, you're all going to lose your job. That's not what I'm saying. You need to listen, right? That's not what I'm saying. But I think if you have a job, hold on to it at least, for a while. By the way, one last thing.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about the stock market, and I keep track of the stock market. And so under Donald Trump, I'm always saying this. Remember, beginning of the year, he tanked the markets. Then the markets came back up.
They rebounded.
Okay. How about now? Under Donald Trump, when he took office in January 20th, 2025, since then, the Dow is up about 100 points.
In 7 months.
So it's been very rocky.
6 months.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's been 6 months. So it was like at 43,400.
So it's about the same. It's about where it was.
It went down a lot, and then it went back up.
Right.
And now it's the last couple of weeks have not been very good.
And now we have a new round of tariffs taking effect.
Right. So if you
find
look
out the
overall in the last 6 months, how is the stock market under Donald Trump? Since he took office, it's up 100 points. And that's not good. It's not the worst thing. It's about even. But I don't think anybody finds that good.
No. It's not necessarily comforting.
No. It's not down. So that's a good thing.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gatos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.